Hey everybody, my name is Jamie Westerman and I wanted to chat with you a little bit about gut health and Thrive and how does that kind of all work together, right? So I'll tell you just a little bit of my background. I am 41. I work as a nurse practitioner. I've done that for about the last 7 years. I've been in healthcare for more than half my life. I started as just a nursing assistant. I went to RN school. I worked in critical care, ICUs and ERs, and then I went back to school because I really wanted to dive in more with just prevention, health prevention. When Thrive came into my life, I was a pretty new nurse practitioner and I was also newly divorced. And so my world was crazy different. Like I just felt like a failure at everything. You know, my marriage had failed. I was going to work every day and questioning like, can I really do this? I don't know if I'm smart enough for this. And I was just exhausted at the end of the day because everything that I ever did, I had to look it up. And so, you know, I just felt very, just not confident in any of it, any of my life. And so Thrive came into my life through a girlfriend who had taken tons and tons of supplements over the years, tons and tons. And I really had not, I'm not like a bandwagon person. I don't like really follow the crowd. I kind of do my own thing. And I certainly didn't think I needed a supplement, but I really started to see a change in her. And I thought, what do I have to lose? I am physically exhausted. I am emotionally exhausted. I am mentally exhausted at the end of every day. My kids were not getting their best mom. My patients were not getting the best me. And, you know, I just thought it might help. Let's just see what happens. I was very skeptical. And what happened in the first probably 8 weeks that I had gotten started was my interest was like peaked. Like, why is this actually making me feel better? I did not expect for anything great to happen when I started Thrive. I just didn't. And so what really happened was, you know, week 1, I got to the end of the week, I felt more energized. Week 2, I was waking up without my alarm clock. Week 3, I remember thinking, I haven't had a headache in a few weeks. That's pretty weird. That was not my normal. Week 4, my kids, I was getting them ready for school in the morning and I was not yelling at them. That had never happened before. Never. I was always the mom who at the last minute was like, get up, get your shoes, let's go. Like that didn't happen before. Week 5, I was getting out of my bed without groaning because my back hurt. You know, it was just this crazy. Every week I noticed something different, right? By the end, I started in May 2015. By the end of the summer, I was like, I have not had a cold in this entire summer, right? I was somebody who worked in healthcare for 20 years. And so, well, not quite 20 at that point, but I always, every 6 to 8 weeks probably, had a cold. It would start out the same. I'd get a little sore throat. I'd get sniffly. I'd blow my nose 1,000 times, you know, and at the end of a week, I'd finally start feeling better. That first summer, it didn't happen. And I had already started thinking, what is going on in my body? Because guys, when you go to nursing school or medical school, you learn about all the different intricate parts, but nutrition and prevention is not always, that's not always the main, it's not on the main stage as it should be, right? And so I started diving into why all of these positive changes were happening. And I was led very quickly to gut health and what happens in your gut. And so, when I really realized my immune system had changed on top of the other things, then I was like, okay, no holds barred. I need to learn more about this. And I probably in the last almost 6 years have read a dozen books about gut health, listened to 1 million podcasts and YouTube videos, and, you know, have even done some classes for continuing education for my licensure because it's so important. And I'm seeing more and more when patients come in to chat with me, like all problems lead to the gut. It's crazy. So for people that have brain fog, for people that have inflammation in their body and they hurt anywhere, for people that have skin changes, for people that have elevated blood sugars, for people that have headaches, low energy, you name it, I can trace it back to your gut. And so real quick, your gut really includes, your stomach is kind of part of that system, but really what your gut is like your small and large intestines, right? And so everything that goes in our mouth is filtered by our gut. And that is supposed to protect the whole rest of our body from what's going in our mouths, right? And we all know that what we're eating, what we're drinking isn't always natural. It isn't always super healthy, right? And in fact, a lot of the times, some of it is just straight up toxic garbage, right? I like Doritos, I like chips, I'm drinking wine. I am not perfect by any means. And I know that I have to have a strong and healthy gut in order to protect the rest of my body, right? So crazy enough, your gut is literally lined by one cell layer of thickness of protection, one cell. And those cells butt up real tight to each other and they create this wall. And it's a barrier that is going to keep everything in the gut in. That's important. What happens when we're exposed time and time again to the not great foods that we're eating? Or if you are somebody that's eating super awesome, maybe it's just the exposure of things in the air that we breathe. Guys, I had to put Drano in my sink the other day just to get my sink working properly again. I couldn't even get ready in the morning at my sink because of all the fumes that were coming out of that sink. And that's just one thing. The glue on our furniture, we are breathing in toxic things all the time, even if you're using the most natural things you can imagine. We're putting toxic things on our skin. Our body is designed to fight these things off, but because we're bombarded so much with this stuff, it's a harder process for our bodies, which is making us all unhealthier. It's making us gain weight. It's making us have inflammation, and inflammation we don't want, right? And so that barrier that is like this, and nothing can get through it, starts to loosen and loosen and loosen until it looks like this. And there's literally holes in the barrier. And really what that's called is a leaky gut. And 80 to 90% of Americans have that. And so what's happening is this stuff is leaking out into your body and it's causing inflammation and it's causing brain fog. And our brains are not in charge like we think they are, right? We think that our brain is in charge of everything. That is not true. Our brain is connected to our gut by one nerve that is not connected to anything else. And our gut is in charge of our body, right? Our gut is in charge of our immune system. It's in charge of our mental health. It's in charge of inflammation. It's in charge of so many processes in our body that we're not thinking about and we're not taking care of it. So here's where Thrive comes in, right? So you put Thrive in your body, and number one, whenever it comes to supplements, it is all about the quality of the supplement and is it absorbing, right? If you have an unhealthy, leaky gut, you're not going to get as much absorption, which is why I'm now 5.5, almost 6 years into this. And, I talked about my immunity. I probably went from 6 colds every year to 6 to 8 to 4. And then all of a sudden it was, now it's 3 and now it's 2. And now I can say in the last 1.5 years, I have not had one cold. Like my gut is continuously healing even as we go, right? Because our bodies are always in flux. Nothing is ever the same. And so Thrive, what it's doing is it started getting in my body and it started healing my body immediately, right? That is why within the first 7 days, I noticed I had extra energy. That is why then the next week I noticed something new, because it was just this continual process of healing that is still happening because I'm still drinking wine and eating chips sometimes. Not as much as I used to, because Thrive kind of has helped me with that extra nutrition not crave that stuff, but it still happens. And so it's constantly getting in and doing its due diligence and helping get rid of the bad things. It's helping detox my body on an every single day basis. And that's what we need, you guys. That is what we need to stay healthy, to prevent illness, and really, truly thrive, pun intended, in our lifetime, okay? If you have any questions, please, please, please find me on Facebook, Jamie Westerman. Post, wherever you saw this video, post. Just get in touch with me. This is what I do. I love it. Get in touch with the person who sent you this video. It is so important that we know this and we start taking care of ourselves in the very, very best way, okay? All right, you guys, have such a great day. Bye.